Hello everyone, welcome back. This is lecture 1, class 9, subject English. In this lecture, we are going to discuss one new chapter of Beehive, that is chapter number 9, The Bond of Love. The Bond of Love by Ned Anderson. Of this chapter. So in this lecture we will discuss the introduction, then the deep explanation of the chapter, that is the chapter is explained paragraph wise. Introduction. The story highlights the emotional bond between human beings and animals. The narrator's wife shares affection with a wild bear and they get attached to each other. Shows that animals have feelings and reciprocate to love with warmth and affection. So this chapter deals with the emotional bond between human beings and animals, and here the narrator's wife has been portrayed as a human being who gets attached with a wild bear, and how that bear also responds to her with love and affection. Discuss the explanation of the chapter, that how did the narrator's wife get to know the wild bear and how did the bond develop between the two. Farmers were driving out pigs from their fields by shooting at them. As it was apparently over, suddenly a sloth bear appeared from the fields. It was breathing heavily due to running and the excessive heat. Sloth bear means small cub of bear, that is baby bear. So farmers were driving out pigs from their fields as they were causing harm, and then suddenly what happened, one sloth bear, that is one baby bear, appeared and he was breathing heavily due to running and excessive heat. The narrator's wife got a pet sloth bear as a pet due to an accident 2 years before the time when this story was written. The narrator and his friends were passing through sugarcane fields near Mysore. So what happened, 2 years back the narrator and his friends were passing through sugarcane fields and suddenly they got to see this sloth bear who was breathing heavily, and then in this manner his wife got this sloth bear as a pet. The narrator says that he would never shoot at a bear without any reason, but one of his companions did, and the bear was shot dead. So what happened? The narrator says that he was not there to shoot at a bear without any valid reason, but one of his friends shot the bear and the bear was shot dead at the same moment. The animal lay on the ground, but a part of its furry black body moved. It was a baby bear that had been lying on the mother bear's back. Now that the mother bear was dead, the baby got up and ran around the mother's body crying. So what happened? One of the companions of the narrator shot one deer, and that deer was actually the mother deer who was carrying a baby deer along with it. So when the mother deer was shot dead, that baby deer was there left alone, and that baby deer was lying crying over there. The narrator tried to catch the baby deer. The deer escaped into the sugarcane field. The group chased it, and finally the narrator caught hold of it from the back of its neck. The deer tried to scratch them with its hook shaped claws. So they tried to catch the baby deer, and finally when they caught it, the baby deer tried to scratch them with its claws. The group stuffed the deer in a gunny bag and took it to Bangalore, that is present day Bengaluru. The narrator gifted the bear cub to his wife. She was happy to have it. Tied a colored ribbon around its neck. As it was a male cub, she named it Bruno. So the group stuffed, that means they packed the baby bear in a gunny bag, the bag which is used to store rice and all such things. And the narrator gifted the baby bear to his wife, and she was really happy, and she even named that bear cub, and the name was given Bruno. The bear drank milk from a bottle. After a few days, it started drinking and eating many things, like everything and anything. The bear enjoyed eating and drinking. So after few days, the bear was settled in their house and started drinking and eating almost everything and anything. It became friendly with the narrator's Alsatian dogs also, and with the tenants' children who lived in the narrator's bungalow. As the bear was left free, it played, ran around the house, and even slept in the narrator's bed. So the baby bear, now that is Bruno, became friendly with everyone who was living in the bungalow of the narrator. That is, he became friendly with the dogs, he became friendly with the children, and he used to play around all along the house, and even used to sleep in the narrator's bed. So that was a kind of bond that was developing between the narrator's wife and that bear cub. Accidentally, what happened one day? Bruno drank the poison kept in the library to kill rats. He was paralyzed and could not stand on its feet. As it reached the narrator's wife, she called him, and he realized what had happened. He took Bruno to a veterinary doctor. So what happened one day? Bruno mistakenly drank the poison that was kept for the rats, and that poison attacked his body, and he was paralyzed and he could not stand on its feet. So immediately the doctor was called, and they took Bruno to a veterinary doctor. The doctor took out his medical books and searched the index for poisoning by barium carbonate. He took out a syringe and the medicine. Bruno was struggling to move, vomiting, breathing heavily, and his mouth was open. So, when doctor saw the condition, he took out his book and started searching for the cure of the poison. The doctor asked everyone to hold Bruno as it screamed. The medicine was injected. As the condition did not change, another injection was given. So what happened? Everyone held Bruno and the medicine was injected, but still there was no improvement in its condition. So another injection was given to Bruno. 10 minutes later, Bruno's breathing eased. It could stand after 30 minutes and ate food. It gave them such a look which showed that it had been fine all the time and as if nothing had happened to it. So after 10 minutes his breathing was eased and after 30 minutes he could stand and ate food. And it also gave the narrator and his wife such looks which showed that it was all fine with him and as if nothing had happened. In another incident, Bruno drank the used engine oil which the narrator had taken out of his Studebaker car and had kept to get rid of termites that did not affect Bruno. So another incident happened and Bruno again mistakenly drank the used engine oil, but with God's grace nothing happened and there was no effect of engine oil on Bruno. As the days passed, Bruno grew bigger and outgrew the Alsatian dogs. Still, it was sweet, naughty, and playful like before. He was fond of everyone. The narrator's wife was very attached to Bruno and vice versa. So as the days passed, Bruno grew bigger and even grew bigger in size than the Alsatian dogs, but still there was no change in his behavior and everyone was attached to Bruno and vice versa. That is, Bruno was also fond of everyone and was habitual of everyone. She changed his name to Baba as he grew bigger in size, which means a small boy in Hindustani language. Baba did some tricks, like when he was ordered Baba wrestle or Baba box, he would wrestle the person and overpower him. So he used to play some tricks, and the narrator's wife had also changed his name from Bruno to Baba. Baba, which eventually means a small boy in Hindustani language. So when he was given command that Baba wrestle, he used to wrestle with the person and used to overpower him. When commanded, when he was given command, Baba hold gun, he would point a stick at the person as if ready to shoot him. When asked, when he was given another command, Baba, where is baby? He would take out a piece of wood and cradle it affectionately like a baby. So when such commands were given to Baba, he used to do the same, and everyone used to enjoy such acts of Baba. Like when he used to say hold gun, he used to hold a stick like a gun. When he was commanded where is baby, then he would take out a piece of wood and would love that piece of wood like a baby. He had hidden the piece of wood under the straw bed. As he had grown big, he was chained because he could be a threat to the tenant's children. So as he grew bigger in size, he was chained because he could be a threat to the children who were living in the house. The narrator and his son advised to send Baba to the zoo. When his wife was advised so by the friends too, she agreed, and a letter was written to the zoo in charge to inquire if he would like to keep a bear at the zoo. So when the narrator's wife was advised to send Baba to the zoo, as he grew much bigger in size, she finally agreed, and so a letter was sent to the zoo in charge. He affirmed, that means he agreed, and then Baba was sent to Mysore Zoo. Packed in a cage, kept on a lorry. Lorry means truck. He travelled a distance of 87 miles to reach the zoo. So finally he was carried and was taken to the zoo. Although everyone missed Baba, but they were relaxed too. The narrator's wife was disturbed. She wept and worried about Baba's well-being. Initially, she did not eat or drink. She wrote a letter to the zoo in charge to inquire about Baba. He replied that Baba was also undergoing a similar situation like her. So the narrator's wife was much worried, and when Baba was sent to zoo, she did not even eat or drink for many days. Then she wrote a letter to inquire about Baba, and she got to know that Baba was also undergoing the same mind disturbance as she was undergoing through. She would ask her friends visiting Mysore to visit Baba and check out on him. Everyone gave a similar report that Baba was fine but appeared thin and sad. The staff at the zoo said that he seemed worried. So same situation was there with Baba. The narrator restrained his wife from visiting the zoo for 3 months. One day she said that she wanted to see Baba, and if he would not take her, then she would go herself by train or bus. Finally, they went to see Baba at the zoo. Finally, she went to see Baba. Their friends had predicted that Baba would not recognize her, and the narrator had thought so too, but to his amazement, she was a few steps away from the cage when Baba saw her and recognized her. He screamed with happiness. She ran up to him, petted him, and Baba was very happy to have her back. So when she went, Baba was jumping with happiness to see the narrator's wife. She remained there for 3 hours. She fed Baba different things which were his favorites. As the zoo had to close, they had to leave. The narrator's wife did not want to leave Baba, and both of them cried bitterly. Even the zoo in charge was sad. When the narrator's wife was supposed to leave, they both cried a lot. The narrator was fine because he knew that the next step would be to take Baba back along to Bengaluru. And that happened. The wife requested the in charge that she wanted to take Baba back. He replied that the bear was government property and that she needed permission from the superintendent in Bengaluru. So, seeing the bond between Baba and the narrator's wife, the zoo in charge also suggested that she needed permission, and after that she could take back Baba to their home. They returned to Bengaluru and visited the superintendent at his bungalow. She cried and requested that both of them had been worrying for each other. She requested to have Baba back. So she finally visited and seek permission from the superintendent. The superintendent was a kind-hearted man and he accepted her request. He wrote to the zoo in charge to arrange a cage for transporting Baba to Bengaluru. They went to Mysore with the superintendent's letter. Baba was put in a cage and finally the cage was kept on the top of the car. It was tied securely and they returned to Bengaluru. So finally Baba was taken back to the narrator's wife. At their home in Bengaluru, a team of workers was employed to execute some work as Baba grew in size in the backyard. As Baba was a full grown bear, he had to be kept isolated. So, an island which was 20 feet long and 15 feet wide was built in the house for Baba. It was surrounded by a dry pit which was 6 feet wide and 7 feet deep. So an island was made for Baba. It was made like this because the bear would not be able to cross the pit over two areas that were inhabited by people, as it could be a threat to them. Things which were used by Baba had been kept securely. These were kept on the island. So everything was arranged, his island was created, and he was there living in his island only. They were a wooden box which was previously used to keep cocks and hens and would now be used by Baba to sleep in at night. Straw was kept in the box to keep him warm. The piece of wood which Baba cradled like a baby, the stick that he used to point a gun, were also placed on the island so that he could play with them. So everything that was needed by Baba was placed in his island securely. When the place was ready, the workers placed the cage on the island and Baba was removed from it. He was happy to be free, stood on his back legs, pointed the stick and cradled the piece of wood as he was supposed to do before, and the narrator's wife spent many hours with him as he lay in her lap. Although he was 15 months old and was quite heavy in weight, still he used to lay in her lap. The narrator's wife visits Baba frequently, and the way in which she reaches and leaves the island is interesting. They have a rope tied to a mango tree with a loop at one end. She would place one foot in the loop and kick off with the other, and in this way she would fly in the air to cover the 6-foot long distance to reach the island. So in this way the arrangement was being done in order to keep Baba at home. Now your homework is that you have to read the chapter thoroughly and find out the textual questions. You may mark the answers in book, and after matching the solutions you will do them in your fair notebook.